Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. We continue our conversation now with Hans Reigle, who is running for the one congressional seat in Delaware as a Republican. We talked about some local issues and some state and national issues a second ago. Let's go international for 1 second.
Sure.
ISIS.
Yes.
Can we defeat ISIS from the air, or do we need to send in troops?
I would like to see more air power deployed for that, and I think we could do a better job. And I also think we could arm the folks on the ground fighting them there.
Now, you're a former pilot.
Yes, sir.
And so when you say we could do more, what are you talking about?
Well, I think that we could deploy more air power. I mean, just look at before Desert Storm started, the amount of air power we sent to the Middle East during Desert Storm, during that war. I mean, we have thousands of bomber aircraft. We have fighters that can deliver bombs. We have weak, I would call it, no-fly zones, and I think we could do a lot more aerially. Plus, we have the ability with drones to also launch a lot of attacks there.
Now, in all due respect, we've been trying air power for some time, and we've been trying to help the rebels in Syria and the Iraqi government and the Iraqi army for some time, and that hasn't seemed to work. Why do you think just increasing it or putting in more of an effort to that would work?
Yeah, I just don't think it's been deployed on a level that's necessary to do that. And I also think that we should do a better job of arming the rebels who will fight ISIS. So
the hard thing is finding the rebels. We spent $50 million arming the rebels, and it turns out we found out we armed 5 of them, and they didn't even fight.
Right, and a lot of them seem to be leaving and going to Europe, perhaps, and not even remaining in Syria. Yeah, possibly. So I think increased human intelligence. You know, lately it seems like there's been almost the government has wanted to vilify Israel in some respects. I mean, the Iranian nuclear deal, which I was against.
Let me talk about the Iranian nuclear. I want to stay with this for a minute.
Sure, but I think we could use.
When do you send troops? When do you put in people to fight ISIS? When does it become? When do you believe it raises to the threat where we put boots on the ground?
Well, I would say any expansion into a true ally nation of ours. So right now, the area of ISIS is Syria. We don't really have any control there. We're not so strong in northern Iraq. That's a little problematic right now. I would say if it spread into Turkey, areas of Turkey, or if the Turkish government asked for our assistance, something like that.
Isn't Iraq an ally of ours?
It is, but I think those northern areas are somewhat out of control right now.
Now let's talk about the Iranian.
Sure.
Deal. Would you do everything in your power if you were a member of Congress to try to undo the deal?
Well, I would have publicly come out against it. Now the deal is implemented and it has begun, but I would have been opposed to it and publicly opposed to it at that time. Hans
Reigle, Republican congressional candidate coming up in the 2016 election. Good luck in the primaries.
Thank you very much, Larry.
Good luck in the general election if you get there.
I'll get there. Thanks.
When we come back, it is that time of year to talk about weatherization of homes, specifically for low-income families. That's when the Delaware Way continues.